Hello dear students. In this session we are going to look at some fundamental concepts which are required for our structural analysis part 2 subject. Actually this is some background that we are needed in this subject, and this background you have already there in your SA1 subject. Okay, so we'll see one by one some basic concept, or we will recall some basic concept, and then after we'll start with our unit 1, that is a slope deflection method of analysis. Okay, uh, so we basically know there are two types of structure. Those are determinate and indeterminate structure. Both of the structure have some advantages and some disadvantages. Both structure have some basic known values or basic known component reaction. Okay, and from those known component reaction we have some unknown component reactions also, and by using some basic static equilibrium conditions we are going to analyze the unknowns, or we are going to determine the unknowns which are there in our structure. Okay, so we'll start with first term, that is statically determinate structure. A structure for which the reaction at supports and internal forces in members can be found out. Okay, can be found out by conditions of static equilibrium is called statically determinate structure. Okay, so the reaction at supports and internal forces in members. Internal forces means also reaction and some movement if there if it is there present. So those unknowns or those support reaction at support and internal forces in members can be found out by using the conditions of static equilibrium. It's called statically determinate structure. Okay, the example of determinate structure is simply supported beam, cantilever beam, single and double overhanging beams, three hinge arches, etc. Okay, and what are the three basic equilibrium conditions? Those are summation of horizontal forces is equals to 0, summation of vertical forces is equals to 0, and summation of movement is equals to 0. Okay, so these are the basic, or these are the standard equilibrium conditions from which we can find out the unknowns. So those structure is known as statically determinate structure. Okay, moving to next one, statically indeterminate structure. So there we can find out, and here we cannot find out. So that is the main difference. Okay, statically indeterminate structure, the structure for which the reaction at supports and internal forces in members cannot be found out by conditions of static equilibrium, is called statically indeterminate structure. Okay, we cannot found such unknowns, or we cannot found the support reaction and internal forces by those three equilibrium conditions. So that type of structure is known as statically indeterminate structure. The example of indeterminate structure are fixed beam, continuous beam, fixed arches, two hinge arches, portals, multi-story frames, etc. Okay, so these are the some examples. Now again there are some differentiation. If equations of static equilibrium are not sufficient to determine all the unknown reactions, that all unknown reactions means vertical, horizontal and movement reactions acting on structure, it is called as externally indeterminate structure or externally redundant structure. So in statically indeterminate structure, again it is divided into two categories. First one is externally indeterminate structure and another one is internally indeterminate structure. So now what is externally indeterminate structure? So that is the equations of, if the equations of static equilibrium are not sufficient to determine all the unknown reactions, that is vertical, horizontal and movement reaction acting on the structure. Okay, so that type of structure is known as externally indeterminate structure or externally redundant structure. And moving to the next, internally indeterminate structure, if the equations of static equilibrium are not sufficient to determine all internal forces and movements in the member of a structure, even though all external forces acting on a structure are known. So it is called internally indeterminate structure or internally redundant structure. So I will tell you in simple language. uh, if there are some internal forces, internal movements there in the structure, and those internal forces we cannot found out by using the three equilibrium condition, that is summation of x, summation of fy, and summation of moment is equals to 0. So those internal forces we cannot find out by using those three equilibrium condition, even though all the external forces or all the external reaction movements are uh, known, or we can find, but we cannot find the internal movements or internal reaction. So that type of structure is known as internally indeterminate structure or internally redundant structure. Okay, I think it is clear to you. If there are any doubts, then you can ask me. Then degree of how to find out, or how to come to a conclusion that is this is this type of structure, that means it is externally determinate or it is a statically determinate structure. So there are some basic or there are some common terms, or there are some common sense from which we can find that structure is determinate or indeterminate or what. Okay, so degree of static indeterminacy is the measure to find out the number of unknowns that are present in the member. Okay, the degree of static indeterminacy of a structure may be defined as the number of unknown forces in excess of equations of static. Okay, it is known as degree of redundancy or degree of indeterminacy. In simple language, or in some simple term, the degree of static indeterminacy is equals to total number of unknown forces available minus number of equations of static. Okay, means unknown may be some vertical reaction, some horizontal reaction if the beam is supported with a roller. Okay, then there is a one vertical reaction. If the beam is supported with a hinge, then there is a horizontal reaction and vertical reaction also. If there is a fixity at end, then there is a movement plus vertical component and plus horizontal reaction component is present there. So those are the total unknown forces available that are there because of the fixed because of the end conditions, minus number of static equations. Means static equations means summation of x, fy, and summation of moment is equals to 0. So from this simple formula we can found out the degree of static indeterminacy. Okay, now what are the redundants, or what maybe the unknown forces are? If the redundants may be support reaction or internal forces in member. If redundants are removed from structure, it becomes determinate. Thus the degree of indeterminacy is equal to number of releases necessary to make the structure determinate. Degree of static indeterminacy is equals to external degree of static indeterminacy plus internal degree of static indeterminacy. Okay, external plus internal redundancy or indeterminacy addition, that gives us the total degree of static indeterminacy. Moving to the next point, there is one simple comparison between determinate structure and indeterminate structure. Determinate structure has its own some advantages and disadvantages. It is good at some level, and it is also there are some drawbacks to the another level. Same in the case of indeterminate structure. So what is the main difference, or what are some basic comparison points that there in determinate structure and indeterminate structure, that we are going to see in this slide. uh, Equilibrium conditions are fully adequate to analyze the structure. Okay, so from summation of fx, summation of fy, and summation of movement, we can find the unknown reactions or unknown components. but here it is totally opposite. The conditions of equilibrium are not adequate to fully analyze the structure, so that is indeterminate structure. Wherein in case of determinate structure, bending moment or shear force at any section is independent of material property of the structure, where in case of indeterminate structure, bending moment or shear force at any section depends upon the material property. Okay, then next point is the bending moment or shear force at any section is independent of cross section or moment of inertia, but here in case of indeterminate structure, the bending moment or shear force at any section depends upon cross section and moment of inertia. Also, temperature variation do not cause stresses. Here they cause some amount of stresses. Okay, no stresses are caused due to lack of fit in determinate structure, whereas this totally opposite, stresses are caused due to lack of fit in indeterminate structure. Extra conditions like compatibility of displacement are not required to analyze the structure, and because we cannot find from these three basic static equilibrium condition, we need some other type of equations, or we need some other type of known components from which we can find the unknowns. So those known components are those some equations, complementary equations we need here in case of indeterminate structure. So those extra equilibrium conditions or those supporting equilibrium conditions are known as compatibility of displacement, or simply compatibility conditions. So here we are going to use the equilibrium equations, and in indeterminate structure along with equilibrium conditions we are going to use some compatibility equations also to find out the unknowns. Okay, now here we'll see what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of indeterminate structure. So can you see this diagram? So there is one simply supported beam is shown here. In a part of diagram, the beam is statically determinate beam. So how to know that the beam is statically indeterminate? See, look at here. The first or the left hand end is supported with hinge. So for hinge we know there are two unknown uh, are there, or some unknown reactions are there which are vertical reaction, and another one is horizontal reaction at a support, and at the another end it is supported with roller. So for roller we have only one reaction component which is applied in vertical direction. So total number of unknowns are 3 and total number of known reactions are 3. So we can find the these three unknowns by using the static equilibrium condition. So according to that, this structure is statically determinate beam. Okay, and in the another B diagram, the structure is indeterminate structure. So the both the ends of the beam are fixed. Okay, so for fixed beam we have three unknowns. So total six unknowns are there. That means one movement, one vertical reaction component and one horizontal. So likewise 3 plus 3 6 unknowns are there, and we have only three equilibrium equations, so we cannot find the unknowns by using those three equilibrium conditions. So here in this case we are going to use some compatibility equations or some uh, methods to analyze the unknowns. Okay, so below the two uh, diagrams, the bending moment diagram is shown. Okay, so for simply supported case we know how to find out the maximum bending moment, that is by WL square by 8 for UDL. Okay, so WL square by 8 is the quantity of movement or quantity of maximum bending moment. Okay, and here uh, the maximum bending moment quantity is WL square by 24, and uh, as this beam is fixed beam, so there we also have some movement or some fixed end movement, that it is WL square by 12. Okay, so in simply supported beam we know the maximum bending moment, that is WL square by 8, which is more as in case of WL square by 12. So we can conclude that, or we have some advantage that smaller stresses, the maximum stresses in statically indeterminate structure are generally less or lower than in case of determinate beam. Okay, so this is the main advantage of indeterminate structure. Next, uh, the greater stiffness, that is statically indeterminate structure generally have higher stiffness, that is smaller deformations than those compared to determinate structure. Now here you can see the deflection. Okay, for simply supported beam, now we know this standard cases. Okay, so for simply supported beams loaded with UDL, we know the maximum deflection, that is 5 by 384 WL raised to 4 upon EI. So this is the maximum amount of deflection that will be there in case of simply supported beam loaded with UDL. And here in case of fixed beam, or here in case of indeterminate structure, the maximum deflection will be WL raised to 4 upon 384 EI, which is minimum or which is less as compared to this uh, this determinate structure. So that's why there are uh, smaller deformation or smaller deflections in case of indeterminate structure. Next is redundancies or unknowns. The indeterminate structure have more members and support reactions than required for static stability. So if part of such a structure fails, the entire structure will not necessarily collapse. The loads will be redistributed to the adjusted portions of the structure. So here in a part of this diagram you can see, if it is supported or it is a determinate beam, we can find out, or we can see here, that is the deflection or the deflection diagram is like a triangular one. Okay, so if the part of this beam fails, so the entire structure will collapse or there is a break of the structure. Okay, and here in statically indeterminate beam we can see it has the shape like a sagging. Okay, so it cannot break completely. Okay, so this is the another advantage. Now looking towards the disadvantages of indeterminate structures, same, the stresses due to support settlement. The support settlement do not cause any stresses in determinate structure. They may however induce significant stresses in indeterminate structures which should not be taken into account while designing indeterminate structure. So those settlement of support or sinking of support we cannot consider here in case of indeterminate structure. So that is the main disadvantage, but that disadvantage can be taken care of by adding some extra reinforcement or adding some high quality of concrete. Okay, then moving towards the second disadvantage, stresses due to temperature changes and fabrication errors. No stresses in determinate structure, indeterminate beam is free to elongate, while in indeterminate beam compressive force F is developed. The effects of fabrication error are similar to those of temperature errors on determinate and indeterminate structure. So what this basically means, there are changes in the structure, or there are changes in the in indeterminate structure due to temperature and fabrication. So here first a part is shown with a statically determinate beam, so that particular delta is only the elongation produced. But here in case of statically indeterminate beam, there is force, or there is a compressive force F is developed because of the temperature forces. Okay, the same is in the case of fabrication error. So there are extra extra forces are developed because of the temperature changes and fabrication errors. And what so these are the basic advantages, disadvantages. So what are the methods of analysis of indeterminate structure? So there are basically two categories: force method and displacement method. So we are going to use here some of the methods. Now these are the types of support and what are the reactions that are there, and number of unknowns. Okay, so we have this background in our SA1 knowledge. So that means when a roller support is there, we have only one unknown component of reaction, that is vertically applied reaction or vertical reaction. Okay, same in case of rocker and same in case of link. Okay, so there is only one reaction where there is a at the connection point. Okay, then if there is a hinge support, that means there are two unknown reactions, one is vertical and another one is horizontal. And if there is a fixity or there is a fixed end, we have three unknown reactions: one horizontal reaction, one vertical reaction, and one movement.